Are you looking to boost your internet capabilities throughout your house? The Zyxel pass-through Ethernet adapter is a great addition for any home console or PC looking to get any extra internet speeds. Affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and you guys know me. I love movies. Not just movies themselves, but Hollywood, the business, the whole shebang. I'm a big fan of it. And I also call out bullshit when I see it. And this is some serious grade A bullshit. Now, Elizabeth Banks is not only an actress whom I very much love, she's also a good producer and a good director, and a talent that I respect in Hollywood. But she made a comment while accepting an award for the nonprofit Women in Film organization about Steven Spielberg that I don't agree with. I don't agree with, period, because she's wrong, and no one is calling her out on being wrong. So there's a whole bunch of articles today about this saying Elizabeth Banks calls out Steven Spielberg for sexism or some such shit, right? And the quote itself actually says, "I went to Indiana Jones, I went to Jaws, and every Steven Spielberg movie ever made. And by the way, he's never made a movie with a female lead. Sorry, Steven, I don't mean to call your ass out, but it's true." She said this in front of a whole gaggle of other women at the Beverly Hills Hotel the other day, and no one has questioned her on it. No one has called it out. No one has stepped up to go, "Ein Minuten bitte." That is not accurate. That is not accurate at all. Spielberg has been in the industry since the 1970s. His first movie was a TV film called Duel, which was shot over the course of 3 days, and it's about basically a door-to-door salesman versus a pissed-off trucker. And it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. And of course, this led up to doing another TV movie called The Sugarland Express, which is based on a true story. Oh, and stars Goldie fucking Hawn. That was in the mid-1970s. This was before Jaws. So right there, she's already, Elizabeth Banks' entire argument has been blown to shit, right? Already been blown to shit, because she's like, he's never made a movie with a female lead. Goldie Hawn was in a starring role in a Steven Spielberg movie. And it wasn't like she was just like the wife to the main character. She was the main character. It's about a woman who goes to break her husband out of prison so they can then kidnap their son and then run off into the sunset. So she is the main character, the lead in this movie. So again, Elizabeth Banks, you're full of shit. We can go into more recently. Right? More recently, just last summer, Spielberg made the BFG, which starred a young little girl as the lead. So maybe, you know, I mean, unless that little girl doesn't identify as a female, which I'm pretty sure she does, then that's a load of shit, right? Now, granted, you know, Big Friendly Giant was clearly the draw of the story, but he was not the main character. He was not the lead. The lead, the story's perspective, our perspective being the audience, was that of the little girl. So again, Elizabeth Banks, you're 2 for 2 full of shit. Okay, but then, you know, I'm skipping over a couple decades here. I started in the 1970s, worked my way up to the mid-2010s, but there's another movie, a 1985 film that I don't know a single person who doesn't absolutely adore, the extremely harrowing and heartfelt tale that's known as The Color Purple. Unless you're trying to say that fucking Whoopi Goldberg is not a female, or Oprah ain't a motherfucking female, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And the funny thing too is that Sugarland Express, at this particular thing, people did call out that he had made The Color Purple, and she kind of just brushed it off and went on with her fucking day, which goes to show you precisely the mindset behind this comment. It's not about being right. It's about throwing shade on the most prolific director in Hollywood, I would say probably of the last 50 years. And then going, well, you've never cast a female as a lead in one of your movies. And people are like, The Color Purple, you dumb bitch. And she's like, whatever. But she does go on to say, she goes, buy a fucking ticket to a movie with a woman. She's talking about her kids here. You know, she wants to show them stories like Frozen, female empowering stories like Frozen. I still want to know what about Frozen is female empowering. Nothing about Frozen is female empowering. In fact, it's the exact opposite, but whatever. And then she wants to take her sons to see Wonder Woman when they're old enough. That I totally am on board with. But she goes, buy a fucking ticket to see a movie with a woman. Take them. Give them the experience of seeing amazing women on film. And of course, talking to mothers taking their sons to see these movies. She goes on to say that I directed one movie. I'm really glad to be up here and getting an award, but it's really about expanding the roles of women in this industry. And that's true. She's absolutely right. I do think that, you know, like more female directors is not a bad thing. I have nothing against that. But Hollywood in and of itself is very much a meritocracy. If you are good and you can, prove to studio execs and studio heads that you can bring in money, that you have that kind of ability, then they're going to prop you up. They're going to propel you up. That's what happens. It's based on how good you are. And yes, there's a fair amount of cronyism and nepotism in the industry. I'd say probably a lot more there than many other places, but for the most part, it is in fact a meritocracy, and I don't think anyone out there would very much disagree with that who actually pays attention to the industry and isn't just trying to shill out one ideological narrative for another, right? Elizabeth Banks got this one wrong. Calling out Steven Spielberg for lack of having lead females is one thing. Saying you haven't done enough is one thing, and that could be an entirely fine argument to make, because yes, he hasn't done many. Out of his 30 plus films, you can count maybe 3 that have, but to say that he's never done it and then to be like, sorry, Steven, hate to call your ass out, but it's true. No, it's not. And had you done the research, had you, not had your head square up your butt, you might have known this. And when people tried to correct you in the audience, you just kind of went, well, and moved on with your day. That's the big problem with this kind of call-out culture. If it's ever countered with facts and evidence and logic and reason, a lot of times, if it goes against the ideological narrative that these people are trying to push for the sake of, I don't know, promoting victimhood as a way of getting ahead in their jobs and their careers, then they might actually have a shot at telling good stories and using the system for what it's for, which is prompting up those creators that are able to do well and continuously do well. Does Hollywood have a problem with particular situations involving certain people being constantly reused over and over and over again? Yeah, they do, both in front of the camera and behind the camera, and it is good to see more unique voices making their way forward, and those are going to be some women directors and some like Black or Latino or Asian directors. We're going to see a lot more people coming out, and that's very much a good thing. But the thing too here is that these people cannot be championed, cannot be propped up simply based on their gender or their race. That does a disservice to them. It does a disservice to their craft. It does a disservice to their talent. It does a disservice to the industry as a fucking whole. And that is the unfortunate thing that happens with Hollywood and these kind of ideological idiots that go out there and spout this shit, like Elizabeth Banks, who clearly has her head up her ass and doesn't even care. And that's the sad thing, because she's a smart, talented person. You figure she would know what the fuck she's talking about when it comes to Hollywood, but she clearly doesn't, because at that moment in time, she would rather push a narrative than actually talk about the truth of the issue. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is Mundane Matt Channel. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Peace out.